And welcome back. You're listening to Life Unrehearsed. Thank you for tuning in. Matt Del Vecchio here. A little Spandau Ballet for you. Oh, the power of music. Did you have that lighter going, swaying back and forth? Maybe a little flashback to those high school days. Thinking back to high school, which camp are you in? Does it put a smile on your face, or is it more of experience? Maybe it's even both. A little reminiscing here on Life Unrehearsed. We have heard a lot about the many closures of seniors' residences, also known as RPAs, Résidences Privées pour Aînés. In fact, there have been more than 500 closures over the past 5 years. Just an incredible stat. And let's bring in one of the kindest people I know with a huge heart and a caring soul. Theo Montut is the owner of Pearl and Theo Residence in NDG. Theo, thank you for joining me on Life Unrehearsed.
Hi, Matt. Thanks for having me on your show.
Well, thank you so much joining me here on a Sunday. And you, although live in Montreal, you are in Toronto. You're still making time for us on the show because such an important topic. You see it all. You are the owner of an RPA, and you're one of the first people I thought of to get an update from the government, because the government came out just a couple of months ago with an announcement of a subsidy program to support RPAs in Quebec for those that have 30 beds or less. Again, RPA being a résidence privée par année, or a retirement home. So, Theo, can you give us an update? What are you hearing about this program? Are we making progress?
Well, I believe the government is making one step forward, three steps backwards, one step forward, because they are slowly starting to realize we are not a one-size-fits-all community, the RPAs. And they were trying to copy and paste, I believe, the programs that home care have into the residencies, into the RPAs. And it's more complicated than that. So they went back to the drawing board. But I believe it's a program that's going to be very helpful, not only to the RPAs, but also to our seniors who have made Canada shine and are in private homes being treated as second-class citizens. I believe it's time the government step up and help them. And in doing so, it's going to help us, give better quality of services, remain open, and treat our residents with dignity the way they're supposed to be treated, because many RPAs are struggling.
Yeah, I want to expand a little bit on that, because sometimes the general public may think, oh boy, they're charging a fortune and they're making tons of money. Well, you know what? 500 closures in the past 5 years, it is challenging. And when I talk to some of our listeners and some of the people that want to find out a little bit more, let's hear it right from you, Theo. What are some of the challenges, not just at your residence, but in some of the smaller RPAs? What are you facing?
What we are facing with our residents is that they cannot afford increases. So we are basically subsidizing them. The banks do not give us loans. The government is our biggest competitor. We are struggling to pay our staff minimum wage, yet the government gives a crash course for 6 weeks and is paying these PABs $25 an hour. So there is a lot of struggling in this industry that we small RPAs are facing. Government regulations, more and more paperwork, cost of living, the bureaucracy. We do not have a seat at the table. Government do not want to hear from us. They do not form solidarity with us. We are being led by a group of bureaucracies that do not know the way. They do not know the way, but yet they're the ones leading us. And unless government wants to bring us to the table and find out what the problems are and try to help us, because it's in helping the RPAs, the government is helping the seniors that have chosen to live in a private residence, that have do not want to be in a CHSLD. But yet I find, they are being treated as second-class citizens. So, no, we are not. We are not, just ching, 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 ching in. No, many times we are the ones supporting our residents.
Yeah.
We are the one subsidizing their living with us.
And you're bringing up some real true costs. And let's face it, with inflation, food costs, labor costs, everything is going up. And as a result, there are many closures. So thank goodness the government is stepping in. It was supposed to be done sooner rather than later. They're trying to work it out. There is some positivity there, but government being government, some bureaucracy going on, and you see it firsthand. But let's hope some of these subsidies will start kicking in for some of these smaller RPAs that need it. Quite frankly, some of the bigger ones need it as well. Listening to Life Unrehearsed, I have Theo Montut. She's the owner of Pearl and Theo Senior Living Community in NDG. Quickly, Theo, since the pandemic and the horrors we saw at the pandemic at Heron and all the others, there's this real stigma behind residences that, boy, oh boy, it's terrible in there, and you wouldn't want a loved one there. I personally have seen, as many, many others, the work that you do in your RPA and, quite frankly, in many other RPAs. Can you maybe explain to our listeners that some of the care levels and the care that is being done these days, because I've seen drastic improvement, but how do you see it from your end?
There are lots of improvement that we are trying to implement. Probably they were always there, Matt. We as Quebecers, we cannot ignore the fact that 19,000 Quebecers died of COVID. So they were not only coming from the private RPAs. There are some private RPAs that had no death, but yet I think we took the bigger bulk of the blame, But RPAs, I have never met an owner of an RPA that said to me, oh, I went into this business so I can make money. It is always, I went into this business because I love taking care of these people, because love taking care of seniors. This is what I always wanted to do. So where did we fail? What happened? What happened with Heron? What went wrong? And I feel the government also should have collaborated with us, have inquiries, find out what we can do. If we get a pandemic again next time, there's no RPA, small RPA owners that went into this business to make money. But yes, we have our mortgages to pay, and we do not want to live on the streets. So like the rest of the world, we have to earn a living. But however, our main focus is giving care, is caring for the residencies. And there are many RPAs that are doing it basically. I don't know how they do it because the cost is so low. So,
but I hear what you're saying. Sorry to cut you off, Theo, but at the end of it, I think you brought up such an important point, especially with the smaller RPAs. They are doing it for the love of taking care of seniors, and yes, it's challenging. So I think that's the message that you're getting out, and what I see. There is that level of care that I would say has been better than it ever has been since before the pandemic. I think we still have a lot of ways to go, especially in a lot of CHSLDs, but there is progress being made. And Theo, we're already out of time. I want to thank you so much, really, for taking a little time, being out of town and squeezing us in here. And God bless you. You're doing such incredible work with your residents, and I really wish you continued success.
Thank you very much, Matt.
All right, thank you. That's Theo Montut, owner of Pearl and Theo Senior Living Community in NDG. Thank you very much for tuning in to Life Unrehearsed. And as a reminder, for all your inquiries or assistance with life transitions and home care, it'd be my pleasure to help. You can find out more if you look up Lianas Senior Transition Support. That's Lianas, Lianas Senior Transition Support.